Before watching the video, don't forget to subscribe the channel and enable bell notification to never miss an update from us.
Hello everyone, this is Ashima Shukla and you're watching us on Entri channel. In this video, we're going to talk about daily current affairs which have been made keeping in mind all the examinations. So it is going to be useful for all of you. And for those who want, after understanding about current affairs and after getting the pointers, if any of you requires topic oriented videos or they require questions, all you need to do is download the Entri app. Over there, you can get a lot more videos which are topic oriented for your better understanding. And we have quizzes over there too, which are going to keep you updated about a lot of things. And they are free. So you don't need to pay for anything. You just need to download the app, right? And it's available on Google Play Store, so you can do that. But right now we're going to talk about current events. The first one being government e-marketplace has been integrated with CPPP. Now, first of all, what exactly is CPPP? See, when we talk about government e-marketplace, that is where the government is planning on bringing everything online for public procurement. So everything which can be made online on every prospect to make it more transparent, to make it more open, to bring down the corruption rates, everything that can be done is going to come on government e-marketplace. But what is CPPP if that comes up? That is, as you can see, the full form, Central Public Procurement Portal. That is the portal where this e-marketplace functions properly. That is electronic procurement or tendering of any central government department or any organization which comes under the central government can be done under Central Public Procurement Portal or CPPP. Who implemented CPPP? That is Ministry of Electronics and IT and NIC, National Informatics Center. And since it involves procurements and bidding and stuff, therefore Ministry of Finance is also kind of involved in that, right? So objective is of e-government e-marketplace and CPPP, the main objective is to bring a single point entry of all the data, and the point is to bring more transparency in various purposes. Right now, when we come to custom bidding, which has been introduced over here, so unified procurement system has been made. That is both of the portals, government e-marketplace and CPPP. As we see that both of them have nearly the same objective, so they have been integrated and combined into a single portal, and that is, as you can see, unified procurement system. That means all procurement and custom bidding can be done on this portal now. So what will this portal have? If we look about all the benefits that we are going to have, they are enhancing the buying and selling occurrences, because at some point of time GEM was having, at some point of CPPP was having. Now all those biddings have come together, so the frequency of biddings is going to increase, right? And all the government buyers, be it of defense segment, for railways, for public sector, everyone is going to come on a single platform. So all the experiences of both the platforms are going to come on a single one, giving more exposure. If we have a look at the range of it, then there's going to be a single user experience for buyers and sellers. And because of so much of involvement, we are going to have a good price discovery also. That is, there may be certain products which might gain a better prospect. Right now, all the scattered vendor bases which were on both these platforms separately, they have been merged together, bringing more people or joining in more people. It will restore the brand and product acceptance process. It is going to fast the development of categories of goods and services because of involvement and wider range, right? Apart from that, it is going to use natural language processing. Natural language processing is going to be used in this, which will make it more extraordinary when it comes to searching things, right? Moving to the next one, Central Vigilance Week is being observed from October 7 to November 2nd, 2020, with the theme Satark Bharat Samriddh Bharat. Now, if we talk about this theme, like if we translate this in the Satak Bharat Samriddh Bharat, it means vigilant India is a prosperous India. Right now, if we talk about this week, in this week, there's going to be a national conference of vigilance and anti-corruption. This conference is going to be organized in this week or in the duration of this week. And who is going to organize it? It is Central Bureau of Investigation, CBI. So CBI is going to organize this conference, and this conference is going to be based on the theme Vigilance Awareness Week, because the whole week is going to be about the conference. Now, what is going to be in the conference is that they are going to discuss about, challenges of investigation when it comes to foreign matters, or the how the bank frauds can be prevented as seeing the time. Then effective auditing of various products, cyber crimes, which are a major scene right now, and states are also working towards it. So basically, prevention of corruption and working towards improving the situations that we are at right now. That is what this is going to work for. Now, what is Central Vigilance Commission? That comes as a part for us, because it is one of those bodies, or a body which has been created for prevention of corruption, governmental corruption. As you can see, it addresses the governmental corruption. So just like Lokpal has been made for all the people, all the investigative purposes or all the corruption things that happen, they come to be under the Central Vigilance Commission radius, right? So it became a statutory body in 2003 under the Central Vigilance Commission Act. So under CVC Act, Central Vigilance Commission was made a statutory body, and this committee definitely needs to have some or the other committee which is going to form it, right? There has to be a recommendation. So this recommendation was done by Shri Sita Naman, who was the chairman of the committee, Sita Naman committee. So Sita Naman committee is there, which had proposed that we should have a Central Vigilance Commission, which will help reduce the corruption in the government sector, right? So Santaman committee was there, if by any chance you get to cross it. And CVC is one of those organizations which is working towards making government processes more transparent, because making it more transparent brings down the corruption rate to a certain level, right? Apart from this, what other laws do we have for prevention of corruption? We have Prevention of Anti-Corruption Act 1988, Prevention of Anti-Corruption Act, right? Then we have Benami Transaction Prohibition Act, which is of 1988 again. Both of them coming out for corruption. Then we have Prevention of Money Laundering Act of 2002. In 2002, we had Money Laundering Act, Prevention of Money Laundering Act. Then Whistleblower Protection in 2011, Whistleblower Protection. Who is a whistleblower? Whistleblower is someone who kind of blows the whistle telling that over here there is something wrong. So someone who indicates that a certain organization is doing something wrong, or who brings out the topic first into the notice, that person or that organization, be it an NGO, be it an individual, or be it an organization, whoever blows the whistle indicating that something wrong is over here, that person is one of the persons who's at most risk. So to protect them from from being harmed or being killed or being threatened, this Whistleblower Protection Act was brought in 2011. And then for bringing in transparency, we have Right to Information Act, which had come in 2005. These are a few acts which help bring down corruption rates or bring up the transparency level, right? So these are all important things, and you have a lot of questions over here, which I guess you have come to see also. Now, first Chief Vigilance Commissioner of India after the formation of Central Vigilance Commission was Nittur Srinivasa Rao, and currently it is Sanjay Kothari. So in 2020, if we talk, CVC or Chief Vigilance Commissioner of India is Sanjay Kothari, right? Moving forward, Ministry of Defense has set up new rules for land transfer. Like right now, the land had to, land is under Ministry of Defense, it is only their right. But now they can transfer the land. That is a new rule. So under the new rules of armed forces are allowed to receive infrastructure equivalent in value of the land under their control. Earlier, what was there, that they have to give something in return. If any organization or anything takes up the government land or defense land, they had to give something in return. They had to monetize the land, right? So now what they are supposed to do is that they can get equivalent infrastructure. What does that mean? For example, uh, a defense land of a certain area has been taken. The land was lying vacant, and say it's a 100 by 100 land, right? And this land is lying vacant, the defense. So what happens is, any organization, any government organization can take that land, or you can say rent it, but what they have to do is they have to bring in the infrastructure which can be used for public utilities. Public utilities, like if the land is required for making metro stations, for example, or bringing up a station, or something which is for people, something that helps people, that can be used. So NHAI can use it, metros can be used, state government can borrow that land and bring up something which is for people, which is going to help people, right? So in what does defense get now? When they want the land back, they will get the infrastructure along with it, right? That is the best thing that can happen, right? So earlier they had to make a payment at the marketplace, or whatever the rate they can be done, or the exchange had to be done. But now all they need is a return of infrastructure, right? Now, if we talk about this further, so NHAI, state government metros, they all can be used. Defense sector is one of the largest holdings of land in India. Defense sector has a lot of land of India, but the problem is that these lands are lying vacant, right? So either they make golf courts out of it, or it lies vacant with no use. And even if someone wants to transfer, there was a huge process involved. So that process has been shortened up comparatively. And since these lands are lying vacant, they can be of some use as well, right? Now, new regulations are still to be done. They will be set up by the local military authority. So whichever authority is there, whichever army cantonment is running over there, they can make the regulations according to their will and their desire of it, right? So that's a change in defense. Now, UN treaty of banning nuclear weapons has come into force. Finally, this treaty has come to force. Now, don't confuse this treaty with any other treaty that you might have read, that is like nuclear proliferation treaty. Don't confuse it with that, because that is a different one. This is by United Nations. That was not backed by United Nations, right? And this is one of the very strict ones which had a huge opposition from Russia, from USA, from Britain, from France, from China. These all major countries, or you can say nuclear powers as we say, all these nuclear powers were against it, although right now there are 50 countries which have ratified it, and that is why it has come to force. What does this ratification mean? See, once a treaty is signed, the signature is done by the person who is there, like the Prime Minister or the President who visited it. Now, after the deal has been signed, the country's parliament also needs to amend it, right? It needs to take into force. So when a treaty is signed, that means that they accept the treaty, and they'll be implementing that treaty on their own level. Like the Prime Minister of India on various consultations did sign the treaty, but only the ruling party is involved, even if it is, right? So the regulations will be implemented accordingly. Like India, if we talk about India, India is going to implement those regulations as per how we think is good, right? But when the treaty is ratified, that means the parliament has passed that treaty and they accept all the rules of the treaty, and they're going to implement everything on that treaty in their country. So 50 countries over here have ratified it. That means they're accepting it with all the regulations placed in it, right? Now, why is it facing so much opposition from these nuclear countries or nuclear powers? The reason is that it takes them back. First of all, it's more dangerous than nuclear non-proliferation treaty. How is it? Because it completely bans. It bans, or you can say it disarms them from using nuclear weapons. It does not promote any sort of it. That is, that it urges the countries to prohibit the use of nuclear weapons. It condemns the use of nuclear weapon and prohibits them from using it. So India has abstained, that is, they are not going to vote in the treaty. And Netherlands is the only NATO country which has voted in favor of the treaty. Otherwise, all NATO countries have unitedly opposed it. Right now, if we talk about, if we compare non-proliferation treaty with this treaty, the thing is that non-proliferation had partial prohibitions. Like, it had certain limitations, but it did not completely say that you cannot use nuclear weapons. Whereas in this treaty, it is completely prohibited. They are not allowing them to use it. Right? So it completely prohibits. Now, Japan is the only country which has suffered from a nuclear attack. We all know Hiroshima and Nagasaki attacks. So it has suffered from nuclear attacks, and still it does not want the treaty. It has boycotted the conference itself, right? Because that's something that you're not supposed to force. There can be restrictions, but it's not something that can be forced. So this is all about it. So when a parliament, now you know what a ratification is, what signature is, and you know what the treaty has, which country has opposed, which country is favoring it, and the stand of India on this treaty as well. Moving forward, no mask, no service policy has been implemented by government of Bangladesh. Now, what does this policy state? That is that if anyone does not wear a mask, then that citizen will not be allowed to enter offices. Any office, any help will not be given till mask is not worn. That is what this no mask, no policy stands for. Apart from this, Bangladesh has been in news for certain things. That is, one vaccine is there, Sinovac Biotech vaccine. This vaccine is a Chinese vaccine which was dumped by China because they did not receive the support or financial support from Bangladesh, and now Bangladesh is conducting trials on it. Then for vaccine, we have Sputnik 5 as well, for which Russia is working on, right? Now, moving forward, PM Swanidhi scheme rankings were released recently by the central government. We all know about PM Swanidhi scheme. This scheme was released at the time of COVID, and the major objective of the scheme was to support the street vendors, right? So, street vendors Atmanirbhar scheme was launched in Atmanirbhar Nidhi was launched in this form, in which capital loan of 10,000 rupees 10,000 at subsidized rate. Subsidy interest was there. This was the loan amount that would be given to street vendors. This was all about the scheme, right? So at subsidized rate, they would get 10,000 rupees loan, and this would include street vendors in rural, urban, and all the areas, right? This scheme has been extended till March 2020. March 2020. And if we talk about the scheme further, then we go to the rankings. So if we talk about the scheme, the implementation is going to be under SIDBI, as I had told before as well. Small Industries Development Bank of India, SIDBI, has got the rights to implement it. This scheme was initially under Ministry of Housing and Urban Affairs. Ministry of Housing and Urban Affairs was the ministry which was handling PM Swanidhi scheme, but this scheme was moved to SIDBI in June, July somewhere. They gave the scheme implementation rights to SIDBI for all the checking on who is going to lend, what rates are going to be there. So monitoring work was given to SIDBI. Apart from that, Ministry of Housing and Urban Affairs has joined hands with Swiggy for door-to-door delivery food from street vendors. Since street vendors are the lowest in the supply chain, what happens is they are the most hit due to this virus. So what happens is now Swiggy is going to teach them how this digital market of food works, and how much sanitation and hygiene needs to be taken care of, and it's going to bring them in an online platform. Right? This scheme with Swiggy, this merger with Swiggy, is being implemented in 5 major cities as of now. It's not all India, but major cities, that is Ahmedabad, Delhi, Chennai, Varanasi, and Indore. These are the 5 cities where this is going to be implemented initially, and then moved up and leveled up to all over India. Right? Now, if we talk about the ranking, Uttar Pradesh has ranked or topped in all categories being sanction of loans under this category, then applications, that is how well has it been applied, disbursements of loan. These are three categories which were there, and in all three categories UP has topped. Apart from that, if we talk at city level, there were 7 cities which were amazing performers of UP, that is Lucknow, Varanasi, Aligarh, Ahmedabad, Ghaziabad, Gorakhpur and Kanpur. Then we have National Coaching Camp for Table Tennis, which has been approved by Sports Authority of India or SAI. Now, if we talk about this camp is going to be held from 28 October to 8 December. 28 October to 8 December, and it is going to be organized at Delhi Public School of Sonipat. What is in this camp? The cost is approximately 18 lakh, but it's going to have 11 players. That's the important one. In the camp, there's going to be 11 players where 5 are male, 6 female. That makes 11 players, and then we have support staff of 4. Right, so total we are going to have 11 players under this table tennis camp. Now, if we talk about Sports Authority of India, they are basically certain regional centers which are there, and this was instituted by National Institute of Sports, right? All right. Now, when we come to next one, IMD, India Meteorological Department, has dedicated the flash flood guidance service for South Asian countries, and this is not for all South Asian countries, but there have been certain focus areas of this country for this countries. Now, what are the focus areas of this country? If we have a look, the focus countries being Bangladesh, India, Bhutan, Bangladesh, India, India being the but obvious one, Bhutan, Nepal, and Sri Lanka. These are a few South Asian countries which are the major focus areas. All right, of this. Now, if we talk about IMD, India Meteorological Department, the Director General is Dr. Mrityunjay Mohapatra. Dr. Mrityunjay Mohapatra, and he was quite a news, so you must know the name also. Also, he's the permanent representative of India with World Meteorological Organization at WMO or World Meteorological Organization. Mrityunjay Mohapatra is the permanent representative of India. He represents India on the world level as well, right? All right. Now we'll be moving to World Bank, who has sanctioned approximately 3 crore rupees for Goa to develop India's first sand dune park. Now we had India's first lichen park in Uttarakhand, and now we are going to have a sand dune park in India, which is going to be built in Goa, and World Bank has proposed a 3 crore investment in that. Apart from that, the principal investigator is Antonio Mascarin. Antonio is the permanent, or you can say principal investigator. For World Bank, we all know president is it is David Malpass, and the headquarters of World Bank are in United States of America. Right. Apart from that, State Bank of India has launched Delhi Metro SBI card along with DMRC, and the main purpose of this is to provide, it's a multi-purpose credit card, and this is basically for all the metro travelers, right? So it's going to enhance them by bringing tokens to a lesser amount, and since it's a credit card, so multiple recharges won't have to be a problem much of it, right? And this will function just like Metro Smart Card functions. All right. Now we're going to have a look at DMRC headquarters, obviously in New Delhi, and MD Mangu Singh. For DMRC, Mangu Singh is the MD. Now, DMRC is important because for cleanliness of Jammu and Kashmir Lake, I guess Dal Lake it was, for Dal Lake cleanliness program, DMRC has partnered with Jammu and Kashmir. So DMRC is something which is important for this purpose over here. And as for SBI cards, we have headquarters of SBI cards and payment service. Here I'm not talking about SBI Bank, I'm talking about SBI cards. For SBI cards, the headquarters are in Gurgaon, Haryana, and the MD and CEO is Ashwani Kumar Tiwari. So I just keep in mind that I'm not talking about SBI chairperson, I'm talking about CEO and MD of SBI cards and payment. Right? And for DMRC, as I told you, Jammu and Kashmir, they have partnered with for cleanliness of Dal Lake. Right? Now, with this, I guess we've covered most part of the current affairs when it comes to of 25th, 26th October, most of it. 25 and 26 October we have covered. And for all those who want questions for practice and who want to enhance their preparation, you can get certain topic-oriented videos just like over here. And you can also get questions for current affairs right over here, because questions for current affairs bring your performance up and they bring you or help you enhance your performance and keep in touch with current affairs. Very important it is to practice questions daily. So you can practice them over here, and all you need to do is download the app, and this is free. You'll get 10 questions every day for 6 minutes, and you can take 4 minutes for analysis. So give and take, it's going to be 10 minutes maximum of yours, and you'll know your ranking, you'll know your scores, you'll know how much you're going right, how much you remember, and how much time you took, everything. Right? So with this, I'll wind up the session. Thank you so much for being with us. And I hope you like the video. Please do like and share the video as much as possible. And do comment on how you like it. Thank you so much. And I'll see you in the next video. Until then, goodbye. Take care and have a great day ahead.